Hey, thanks for tuning in to Unfair Sports. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate it. Talk recruiting, Jimmy. It's been a bit since we had to jump into the OU recruiting world and really talk about it, but there was a big announcement that came down the pipeline. Everybody's talking about it. Of course, we got to talk about it now. Jackson Arnold, the nation's number 6 quarterback and number 47 prospect on 24/7's Composite, has committed to Oklahoma. Quarterback, he's 6'1" with 187. Looks like he's got a lot of potential. So he potentially joins a quarterback room. He committed. There's a hard commit right now. At 4-star, 96 is his number. So I'm bad. 6'1", 195, not 187, 195. So you're 6'1" quarterback coming in to play out of Geyer, Denton, Texas. Jimmy, you said you watched some video on the kid. What you feel? What's your feelings on this commitment?
Well, he's one of the top dual threat quarterbacks coming out of this class. So I wasn't surprised by his mobility as far as when he decides to take off and straight line speed. So he's got solid speed. He makes good choices as far as when to take off. So, that really wasn't an issue. That really wasn't what I was looking for. But what I started to notice the more I watched film on him is that more so than taking off, he likes to use his feet in order to maneuver around the pocket to get outside and create a new pocket for him. To me, the one who's one of the best at this is Russell Wilson. And I talked about Patrick Mahomes doing this for himself quite a bit yesterday in the game. But when he does that, he's able to make throws where his feet don't have to be set. So that shows you that he's got a very good arm. I don't think he has like a superior arm, but he's got a very good arm to be able to do that, to be able to make those throws and throw darts without his feet being set. But when he takes off or when he maneuvers around the pocket, a big part of what he does is he keeps his eyes down the field. And that's something, no matter how good you are as a quarterback, if you lose focus on what you're supposed to be looking at, even though you can sort of see pressure coming at you or you start to sense it. Those are the quarterbacks who don't even make it through college, who have all the physical tools but can't keep their eyes down the field because they're terrified of getting hit. But his eyes and his head stays down the field. And eventually what's going to happen with quarterbacks like this is, and when they're able to maneuver that way, they keep their eyes down the field, something's going to get open. Because any secondary, no matter how good you are, you really can't lock down. You can't clamp up an offense for more than 3 seconds before somebody comes open. So he gives his receivers the ability to do that because of how he uses his mobility, but because he will find them, he will see them if they get open. So I think that this is a very exciting quarterback that they'll be able to add to the room. It's going to be very competitive. Again, I think Jeff Levy, you could correct me if I'm wrong, I think he ran point on this as far as recruiting. He did. Which he's got so much ammunition in order to get really good quarterbacks, 3, 4, maybe even 5-star quarterbacks to come to whatever program he's at. So I think it's definitely a credit to him for that. But looking at this, I'm more excited about this more than Dylan Gabriel, which is not to say that he's not good. I think he's going to be good, and he's got familiarity with Jeff Levy. But seeing his film, I'm a little more excited about him getting onto the field than Dylan Gabriel, which I know is unfair to say because we'll get plenty of Gabriel this season, but I really like it. I think he's going to be good in this offense.
Yeah, it looks like there's been a lot of praise on the Jackson Arnold commitment pickup. A couple people were mentioning that they felt like he was the best this past year in Texas high school football, which is a big thing to say. Especially the way Texas football goes. So I'm pretty excited to see that Oklahoma's adding to that quarterback room, and they're adding to that room with competition. Now, I know that the one thing that Lincoln Riley was infamous for is he usually committed to a quarterback and he stuck to it. He not very often was he big on having multiple quarterbacks come in. Like I know that when he recruited Brock Vandegrift, he basically told Caleb Williams, hey, we got Brock. We're not really going to go against it. And Caleb in his mindset was, no, I want to come play for you. So I'm going to pull up. And since that was the case, they ended up getting Caleb instead because Brock decided to go to Georgia. So that's pretty big deal to see that Venables, I feel like, is going more of an SEC mindset. We're going to get as many great quarterbacks as we can. Hell, they offered Arch Manning. And if Levy can pull him in like he was supposedly going to do at Ole Miss, and you got that kind of competition between them two, add in Nick Evers, who's already there, and then Dylan Gabriel, who should still be there if he doesn't go ahead and turn pro. And we don't know. Jackson Dart is still floating. We don't know what he's going to do yet. Caleb is still floating. I don't expect him to come back, but he's still floating. There's so many options, and I like when a team comes out and decides that they're going to play the game that the other teams are playing in their either conference or future conference, because this is more so a future piece since they're not in the SEC as of yet. So I'm amped. I like him coming in. I'm pretty excited to see what more they decide to do. So from there, we still got, like I said, Jackson Dart. We're waiting on adding him, and Oklahoma has been throwing out offers all around. Like this past weekend, it was a busy weekend. Oklahoma hosted 5-star offensive lineman Josh Connolly Jr. He came and visited. I think that's a big deal. You got to have, of course, solid O linemen, and that's not something you can really complain. There's nothing better than having really good linemen. So you got to have somebody that's going to protect Jackson Arnold if he does decide to if Josh decides to come in. But no, did you get a chance to see some of the visitors that decided to pull up at Oklahoma over the weekend?
No, I didn't get a chance to see that. So give me the rundown of who it was, what position they played, and some thoughts on that. Yeah. Okay,
so you had Gentry Williams out of Booker T, Tulsa, monster of a player. I went to a Booker T game and watched him hit the dog. He's gonna be special.
Yeah,
he's gonna be special if you can find a way to lock him up immediately. You had let me see. I had the entire list of all these Oklahoma kids, and I kind of dropped it. Ahmad Moten, interior defensive lineman, came out of Fort Lauderdale, pulled up. Of course, everybody wants him. And I like the fact that he got around campus, kind of liked some stuff, got some views in. You got to appreciate Oklahoma getting him to come out. And then they have one more. And 5-star linebacker Anthony Hill pulled up. Talked about how much of an awesome weekend he had. That's a testament to the staff. And my understanding is this was a unofficial visit. I mean, he paid his own way. Pulled up. He was there in June, came back to a game in the fall, and now he met Venables in person. And it was him and his dad that pulled up. So Anthony Hill, 5-star linebacker, the number 1 linebacker on 24/7's composite out of Denton, Texas. He said the culture stood out, and that's a big deal. You get that big boy coming there, whew.
Now, what is that, 22 or 23 for him?
He is 23, if I'm correct.
Okay,
yeah,
so if he's the number 1 rated linebacker in that class, why did this visit have to be unofficial? Like, could they have made it official if they wanted to? Because why would you not make it official if you can with the number 1 linebacker, given that you have a defensive coach and that you're going to need as many guys like that transitioning into the SEC. So I don't understand that part. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I don't understand that.
Well, and this is my personal opinion. I am not sure. I have to do a lot more research on that question, which is a great question. I believe that they were going to probably give him an official visit in the fall instead of now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may as well bring them in closer to the end of the season,
right?
When you really want them, and close to the closer to during the season so you can see what the team is doing now instead of pre. So right now, there's no crystal ball, but yes, he's class 2023. Him just coming to visit because he just want to come meet the coaching staff is pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's not like it's that far of a drive. He's from Denton, Texas. It's not like, you know, that's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive up, you know, I-35. You know, I-35 sucks right now because it's always under construction, but it's not that long of a drive. So it's one of those drives that it shows that it's worth it to him and his dad. They want to meet the new coaching staff, and that means that Oklahoma is truly someone that they're considering. And you can't beat that at all. And right now, some of the projections from Gabe Brooks on 24/7, he thinks that he's a second-round NFL draft pick potentially. He could be a first.
Okay, that's exciting.
Hell yeah, you cannot beat that. You can get a guy to just pull up and say, you know what, I want to meet the new coach. I want to see if I like him. And that tells you something. Of course, Alabama's trying to recruit this kid. And so it's funny, if you really think about it, a lot of these players, if you look at who's trying to recruit them, and that kind of tells you how good they're truly going to be. If you got Nick Saban out there sniffing around, you better go sniff around too.
Right. That's exactly right.
But shout out to the staff at Oklahoma, Brent Venables and Bates and Levy. That's their third commitment for 2023 from them. So that's really good to see that they've got 3 guys truly want to commit with Jackson Arnold as well as the rest. And you'll see more Oklahoma content on the YouTube channel soon. We're getting back into the groove of things, and we'll make it happen. So from